I am to bow down. Here I am to say that you're my God. And you're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. King of all days, oh so highly exalted, glorious in heaven above. Humbly you came to the earth you created, all for the sake of the poor. So here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. I never know how much it costs to see my sins upon that cross. I never know how much it costs to see my sins upon that cross. Here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me. Here I am to worship, here I am to bow down, here I am to say that you're my God. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me.
Today there be peace within. May you trust that you are exactly where you are meant to be. May you not forget the infinite possibilities that are born of faith in yourself and others. May you use the gifts that you have received and pass on the love that has been given to you. May you be content with yourself just the way you are. Let this knowledge settle into your bones and allow your soul the freedom to sing, dance, praise, and love. Amen. Retreat is a place where hearts are sure of each other. It is a place of confidence. It is a place where we tear off that mask of guarded and suspicious coldness, which the world forces us to wear in self-defense, and where we pour out the unreserved communications of full and confiding hearts. It is a place where expressions of tenderness gush out without sensation of awkwardness and without any dread of ridicule. It is a place where we speak freely, knowing that our words will go no further. Amen.
Okay, welcome back, guys. We're glad to be back with you again tonight. I really enjoyed last week being able to get with you and see many of you for the first time in person, being able to praise and worship the Lord with you together, being able to see your commitment in spite of all that's going on to come out and risk exposure to corona and to want to be one with the group and participate in the songs and all the things that you did and all the sacrifices you made to come out and participate with us. I know it felt more like a real retreat, and I know that many of you were asking to do that more often, and hopefully we'll be able to do that more in the future. So hats off to you guys. I really appreciate y'all putting up with us and putting up with everything that's going on. I know the Lord has a plan, and I guess we'll see it in the end. Last time we revealed the artwork, and Miss Cindy did a great job on the artwork, and just as I asked, it's a man who's in a state of surrender, who's got his shirt opened up, showing that he's surrendered and open to receiving Christ. He's humble, he's trusting, he's surrendering, he's believing, and he's receiving, like Father Keith likes to say. And all those things that are necessary for someone to take a step and leap of faith. So that's all tied to our theme, right? Jesus is planting a seed of faith in it, so that he's able to grow and yield a fruitful harvest. And this week what we want to do is try to see what your fruitful harvest is. I want you to talk a little bit about your conversion experience, your growth in faith that may have come about by a seed of faith being planted in you. So we want to focus on the theme, what has been your harvest of the good seed of faith? So in your life, what has been the harvest of your good seed of faith? It may have been an Acts retreat that started something in your life. It may be something else that started something in your life. Some type of personal experience that caused you to grow in your faith. And that's what we're going to focus on for our 3 to 4 minute talks. This week we'll have Chuck, Lane, Cecil, Glenn, and Blaze. Those will be our first 5 to give their 3 to 4 minute talks. Again, we want to try to keep it in that 3 to 4 minute range, and we want to focus on our theme, which is the seed that falls on good ground will yield a fruitful harvest. And we want to kind of take off of that, and we want you to explain what has been the harvest of your good seed of faith. So with that, we'll be doing that on an online video chat this Thursday. So be prepared, those of you that are the first in line to do it, and those of you that are wondering when your opportunity to do it will be. If you'll look at the name list that I put in your folder, you can see about where you fall on that list, and we're just going to go down that list of retreatants. If you'll notice, our folders are green, showing growth, and a good harvest is always a green crop that's abundant. And so we use the green for the color of our folders to go along with our artwork. We also used a wooden cross and a brown lanyard to symbolize wood and earth and soil and the brown things that are necessary to make soil fertile, the organic matter there. And Christ is the vine, is the woody vine that we all stem from. He's the source of all of our faith and growth in faith. This week we have a special treat. We have a talk from Father Keith. It's about a 15-minute talk that we're going to have him cover tonight. And he's going to talk about our Thursday night at the retreat. Those of you that are familiar with it, you're pretty familiar with Thursday nights and how they go. We typically get there Thursday during the day and prepare in advance of the retreatants getting there, and then the retreatants come, sometime around 5:30, 6 o'clock. They'll start showing up, and we need to be prepared for them and how to receive them. And you'll need to wear your red shirts, your red Acts shirts on Thursday night. So I wore mine to show you an example of what you need to have for Thursday night. And next week, Father Keith will go into our Friday night, or Friday and night information, and then he'll go into our Saturday information in the following week, and then our return mass information in the next week. So we have 3 or 4 videos that we'll put together for you concerning each night of the retreat, and this will be the first one, the Thursday night. And with that, I'll turn it over to Father Keith.
Hey guys, how's it going? I've been trying to make this video. This is my 5th attempt to try to make this video without any interruption. So hopefully maybe later in the afternoon it's going to be better for me. So once again, thank you for tuning in. And what I'm going to do is give you some video presentation about the individual days and nights of the retreat. So explaining, first of all, what Thursday night and Thursday is all about, and then moving on throughout the other days of the retreat. And there'll be individual videos for each of the nights. And so just for us to have some point of origin as far as why we do what we do on these particular nights, so that way we can continue to embrace what Acts Missions has set forth for us on these Acts Missions retreats. So bear with me, and hopefully we can journey through these nights fairly well. So as we begin to gather for Thursday, remember we have the team mass in the morning, usually right before lunch, but you will be getting at the retreat center usually around 8 or 8:30 or 9 or something like that, whatever the director has set forth for you. But you'll be getting there, moving into your rooms, getting settled there, and of course unloading the trailer and getting supplies where they need to go. And usually around 11 o'clock is when we have a team mass in the chapel. And so we'll be gathering there for that. Thursday, just to keep in mind that the whole theme of Thursday is invitation. And so as we have began to get ourselves ready, we know that we're going to go back to the church, or back to where we're going to pick up the retreatants, and we're going to meet them, although we might have met them during application process. We're going to meet them as a team in order for us to begin the retreat process. So this whole theme of the day is invitation, inviting them to this journey with this encounter with Christ. The retreatants are introduced first to a new and perhaps unfamiliar environment, and to new people who are to be present to serve them. And so that's our whole point for Thursday, is invitation. And along with that is hospitality. Of course, as you well know, Louisiana is really known for its hospitality. So to help people feel not only invited, but warmly welcomed, hospitality. And then on this day, particularly, we began to build trust. And so that's why those particular 4 words come into play, trust, surrender, believe, and receive. And so we began to ask them to trust, because they have no idea what's going to happen. So they began to hopefully begin to trust in us, that we're going to help lead them the way. And also we're going to invite them for meditation. As we prepare for the Stations of the Cross that evening, meditation will take place, and maybe this may be a first experience for many of them, for some of them. So we want to facilitate an environment that allows meditation upon the Stations of the Cross, this encounter with Christ. And as we send them to bed that evening, hopefully we send them with some opportunity for reflection, to actually reflect upon the day, reflect upon the ritual that we have done with them, the Stations of the Cross, and to begin to reflect upon their lives, and how maybe in their life the Stations of the Cross becomes a reality for them as they connect to this journey with Christ. They are introduced to Jesus, a man who died, a man who resurrected 2,000 years ago, a man who claimed to be the Son of God and who sacrificed himself for us. And then they are faced with the effect of his sacrifice, the effect of this sacrifice on them, on their lives. And these introductions are compelling and should be done greatly, respectfully, and reverently, and simplistically. So hopefully we keep those 3 particular elements in mind as well while we're doing this retreat. That everything that we do is reverent, it's simple, and it's Catholic. And so those 3 things we'll be sort of doing everything out of: reverence, simplicity, and reverence, and Catholic. So the team mass, like I said, will be at 11 o'clock as we begin to gather. And then the directors and those who have been selected to come back to the church will be here to welcome the retreatants, finish signing them up, finish all the registration, having their luggage tagged and having their luggage loaded. And then we bring them to the church. I will be with them at the church to pray with them, and to begin this journey of trust, surrender, believe, and receive. And as you well know, we journey over to the church as in a convoy as best as we can, one following the other. And as we arrive at the retreat center, we usually have the first car wait until the last car is on the retreat grounds, on the driveway, before we began driving forward to welcome them in a very, very particular way that they totally are not expecting. And so we wait till all the cars arrive with the retreatants before we start sending them forward. And as that contact has been made, and with the first car begins to arrive first, and then we usually approach where all the other team members have gathered, and of course, you know what happens. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of really loud, and lots of applause and lots of welcome, lots of so glad you're here, those kinds of things. And so you have to imagine what it was like when you were first signing up for your retreat, that you had certain expectations about what this retreat was going to be about. Maybe it was going to be quiet. Maybe it was going to be sort of lots of time for reflection, lots of time for quiet and reflection and contemplation. And then when the cars drive up and they see this crazy mob of guys going wild, that it truly breaks all of their expectations. It breaks down everything, totally out of left field. And that's exactly what we're hoping to do, is to break down all the expectations. And so now they have no idea what to expect. So that's where trust comes in. If I can truly trust this team, that no matter if I don't know what's going to happen next, that I'm going to build trust that I'm going to be okay, I'm going to be taken care of, I'm going to be secure. I put my life in their hands, for these next few days. And so that begins to build trust as we break down the expectations. And then, we lead them after everyone's been welcomed. We lead them into the dining room for dinner, and we begin serving them. And so that's one of the elements too that they're going to not be used to. That each of the team members line up with a retreatant, and they serve them their meal. And so that will be something that we'll hopefully be able to continue with this coronavirus. We're not sure if there's going to be some concession to allow for us to not do that. I'm not sure yet, but as we get to that point, we will know. So, but we want to welcome them. We want to serve them in the best way that we can for that retreat, according to those directives. So once everyone is seated and everyone has their meal, and then of course we allow for a nature break before we go into the presentation room. And then once we get into the presentation room, there are no tables set up, they're just chairs. And so the retreatants are seated in the middle of the room, and the team members are seated on the outside of the periphery of those chairs. So that way we are seated there as a team members, and then the retreatants are in the center. Then the director and the co-director come up and they make their necessary announcements. And then we go through a process of introducing the team. And then so each of the team members begin to introduce themselves. And it's just a very generic introduction. So our name, maybe a little bit about our family makeup, what church parish we belong to, and what retreat we made, and that we're here to serve them. We're glad that they said yes. We're blessed that they wanted to be on this retreat. They said yes, or maybe they were coerced into this retreat. But however they got there, that we're glad that they're there and we're eager to serve them. And then we go through a process of introducing, if you will, the theme of the retreat, the song of the retreat, the image that has been selected for this particular retreat. And then we invite them to introduce themselves. I think that's how we do it on Thursday night. I know for the women it's different. I think women introduce on Friday morning while they're at the tables, but I think the men are introducing on Thursday night. So we allow them to introduce themselves, again, some just basic information, who they are with their name, family makeup, and their parish they came from, and then maybe why they're here. Why are you here? And then we assure them of confidentiality. We want to go through the river rule and make sure that they understand that this is a very confidential retreat. And we want to begin, again, building trust, that invitation to trust. And so we'll talk about the river rule. We'll introduce that, and we'll begin to journey with that. And then we, of course, surrender attachments. And so hopefully we do this very tenderly. And one of the things I'm hoping that we can keep in the forefront of our minds is that when we're talking about and getting ready to talk about these surrendering attachments, is that we assure them that their family has an emergency contact with one of the team members, the director or co-directors, that their family has your cell number before we even say anything about surrendering attachments, because that is a big concern for people who may have sick parents or sick children at home. They want to make sure that somehow that they will be able to be contacted. So let us be sure to assure them that that there is an emergency phone number that their family has already in order to contact us, and then we will let them know. And then we let them go to their rooms, and usually we let them make sure that they have all their luggage and all their belongings, so that way they have a little bit of a longer nature break. And then we go and get them out of their dorm, and we bring them to the fire, wherever the fire may be. It could be at the fire pit, it could be at the oak tree as we began the Station of the Cross, wherever it is that that the Station of the Cross team decides to have that beginning journey. And then we'll go through the Stations of the Cross. And we'll talk about that as time gets closer. But as I think most of the table leaders are the Stations of the Cross team, so that way they can get their ministry and service done. So that way they're free to be at the tables pretty regularly, because as you well know, that's really where the retreat truly happens, is at the table. Sharing their life story, sharing with one another, listening to one another, and then sharing with the larger group. And so all the components of the retreat are to facilitate and to help support what's going on at the table. So table ministry is vitally important there, to really listen twice as much as we speak, so the team members that are on tables. So we'll go through the Stations of the Cross, and the table ministers will be rehearsing Station of the Cross, and so that way we can hear them plainly, we can follow along. They will not have, the retreatants will not have any type of worship aid with them. There won't be any paper or anything like that they will be distracted with. But for us to really be aware that many times this is the first experience of the Stations of the Cross for a lot of them. And maybe it might have been a childhood experience, but this is maybe a first adult experience. So we'll go through all 14 Stations of the Cross, and we'll bring them back to a point of origin, and then we'll do a closing prayer. And then the director basically invokes silence and dismisses the retreatants to their rooms, which the stewards will now usher them to the rooms, making sure they get to their rooms and to their proper places. And again, we're imposing silence, and so that means silence from that moment until the morning. And then after the retreatants are safely in their rooms and in their dorms, and then we begin to help the Station of the Cross pick up whatever it is that we need to pick up. Being that we have a lot less supplies now, it goes a lot quicker. And so then we have the team meeting in the presentation room. And usually what happens is we set up the presentation room with the tables and chairs prior to the meeting. So we'll need basically all hands on deck for us to be in that presentation room and getting the tables set up and the chairs set up according to facilitate that room for the weekend. So that's Thursday, and then we'll go to bed, of course, hopefully at some point that night, and we'll get hopefully enough rest in order for us to be fresh in the morning. So we'll let us just really reflect about that. Once again, I'm going to reiterate what the theme for Thursday is invitation, and the objectives for that theme are hospitality, warm hospitality, building trust, breaking down expectations and building trust and surrender, believe and receive. Also to facilitate meditation, to really begin this journey with Christ in meditation. And also hopefully to facilitate reflection, that they're reflecting how Christ's life and his way of the cross. Many times we find ourselves in similar situations that maybe we can attach ourselves to Christ and journey with him in our walk with him. So I'll be open to any questions at the time that we meet for our formation meeting. God bless. And once again, thank you so much for saying yes. Thank you.
Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, your perfect love is casting out fear. And even though I'm caught in the middle of the storms of this life, I won't turn back, I know you are near, and I will fear no evil, for my God is with me, and if my God is with me, whom then shall I fear, whom then shall I fear? Oh no, you never let go through the calm and through the storms. Oh no, you never let go in every high and every low. Oh no, you never let go, oh Lord, you never let go of me. And I can see the light that is coming for the heart that holds on. A glorious life we all uncompared. But until that day comes, we'll live to know that you're here on earth. I will fear no evil, for my God is with me. If my God is with me, whom then shall I fear? Whom then shall I fear? You never let go through the calm and through the storms. Oh no, you never let go in every high and every low. Oh no, you never let go, oh Lord, you never let go of me. Yes, I can see the light that is coming for the heart that holds on. And there'll be an end to the trouble, but until that day comes, still I will praise you, still I will praise you. Still I can see the light that is coming for the heart that holds on. There'll be an end to the trouble, but until that day comes, still I will praise you, still I will praise you. Never let go through the calms and through the storms. Oh no, you never let go in every high and every low. Oh no, you never let go, oh Lord, you never let go of me. Oh no, you never let go through the calms and through the storms. Oh no, you never let go in every high and every low. Oh no, you never let go, oh Lord, you never let go of me.